Hi guys, welcome back to Wholesome Living. Today I'm here to show you how to compost your garden waste or your kitchen waste or any other biodegradable waste that you have and that you want to use to make compost in your backyard or in your garden. Making this compost is really interesting and really fun because it's going to be a free source of manure of compost for your plants, and you can use this whenever you fertilize your plants or whenever you repot your plants. This is how I've started. I've taken a bucket and thrown in a bit of soil at the base, and then I've thrown in my kitchen waste. Now once my kitchen waste is added, what I can do is I could have mixed it in with the soil at the bottom, but what I decided to do was I decided to cover it up with some old compost, and I've covered it and kept it aside for a week. This is a week later, and I'll be showing you how much of the waste has decomposed and what has not decomposed, and then we'll move on to the next part. As you can see here, a lot of the cabbage leaves that were thrown in have decomposed almost completely. You can see the very thin shreds of cabbage which were dry, the cabbage leaves which were dry are still there, and the big cabbage stalk is still there. I'm giving it a good mix and loosening up the soil, and then I'll be adding some freshly cut cabbage stalks. The cabbage stalks that I have here, instead of throwing it in full, I decided to chop it up into smaller pieces so that it gets decomposed quicker, because as you saw earlier, the cabbage stalk did not decompose. I've added cabbage stalks and peanut shells, and I'm giving it a thorough mix. You could simply dump it all at the top and cover it up and then allow the process to take its own time, but if you want to speed up the process, you need to give it a thorough mix. And you can see the cabbage stalk from the previous time is still there at the top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some garden waste. You can see the leaves, the old leaves from the plants around my garden. I've thrown them into the bucket, and I'm adding some sand this time. Earlier I used some old compost, but this time I used some sand, and after mixing it and covering it up, I'm leaving it there for a week. This is a week later. I'm just adding some fresh kitchen waste at the top, and I'll give it a thorough mix again, like I said, so that it decomposes faster. But this time I did not shred it or cut it into smaller bits. I'm just going to show you how waste takes its time to decompose if there are bigger chunks, and if you chop that into smaller bits, the decomposition process gets quickened in some way. So I'm giving it a mix. This also helps to quicken the process. If you don't give it a mix, then the process takes longer. So this is a week later. You can see all the kitchen waste decomposed, but the garden waste was still quite visible. So I'm simply covering it up with some sandy soil, and I'm going to check it again after a week. Do like and subscribe to our channel, and check out our other videos on plants and travel and some DIYs too. So do check those out, like and subscribe. That would really be a great source of encouragement for us. Now this is after a week. Again, you can see that the garden waste, which was already dry, is still visible, but the kitchen waste, which was fresh, has decomposed. This shows that the fresh waste decomposes quicker than once it dries out. Once it dries out, it takes longer to decompose. This is about a week after, when everything was completely composted. I found some tomato sprouts at the top. So before I empty the compost and show you the end result, I'm going to just remove these tomato sprouts and save them for another time. Maybe I could use them in my garden, or maybe I could just grow them. So I'm going to carefully take them out, and now you can see the compost is ready after almost 2 months. That's my compost rich soil, which I am going to use either for my garden when I'm repotting my plants, or I can just add it at the top of soil so that the compost can be absorbed by the plants. There you can see a mango seed has not composted, but that's totally fine. It goes back in the bin and I start the process all over again. All I'm going to do now is spread the compost and wait for it to dry, after which I can take it and mix it with some garden soil, some sand, and I can use it for repotting. I hope you enjoyed this video, and do like and subscribe. Thanks for watching till the end. Goodbye.